How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We only have 3 episodes of WandaVision left. The hype is definitely real at this point, and in the middle of all of this hype, we've had some big news come out about Spider-Man 3. Now, we were supposed to get our first look at Spider-Man 3 before the end of 2020. We were supposed to get it in December 2020, and that was according to an actual Sony executive. However, of course, as we all know, that didn't happen. And it looks like we have figured out why. And it looks like the reason of why they didn't show us our first look or teaser by the end of the year has been fixed. And it looks like we could be getting an official announcement from a major trade source, or maybe Sony or Marvel themselves, pretty soon. We also have some pretty big Black Widow news coming from Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige himself on whether or not Black Widow is going to have a theatrical release, a Disney Plus release, or both at the same time. So let's talk about all the news that happened over the weekend. And of course, if you love Marvel and want to stay up to date on things like Spider-Man and WandaVision, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. So over the weekend, we had 2 major scoopers who have been right about many different things in the past, seemingly confirmed that some big news is going to be coming from Marvel relatively soon. These 2 people are Charles Murphy and Daniel Richman. Now, Daniel Richman has reported a few times that Sony and Marvel and Tobey Maguire hadn't exactly come to a deal. Tobey Maguire wanted to come back for Spider-Man 3. Sony and Marvel wanted him to come back as well, obviously for the Spider-Verse with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, but they had never reached an actual agreement. They never had an actual deal on paper. It was never signed. However, it looks like that has changed and a deal has officially been made. This past Thursday night, a few hours right before WandaVision was about to come out, both Charles Murphy and Daniel Richman tweeted about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Charles tweeted a picture of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and then alongside that picture, a picture of Tom Holland's Spider-Man holding his thumbs up, a scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, implying that Tobey is good to go for Spider-Man 3. He then tweeted another picture of what seemed to be a cropped confirmation from somebody saying, "It's a go," obviously referring to the Tobey Maguire picture that he posted just minutes before. And then Daniel Richman, not too long after, tweeted out a GIF from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, also seemingly confirming that Tobey Maguire is on board for Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3. And then minutes after that, he tweeted out, "It's pizza time," which of course can only be a reference to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Pizza time.
Daniel Richman was the person who reported that we didn't get a teaser from Sony or Marvel for Spider-Man 3 because the deal hadn't been signed with Tobey yet, and they wanted to make sure that he was on board before they made an announcement or did some type of a teaser for the film. He's the one that reported the problems, and since he is now saying it's pizza time and Charles Murphy is saying it as well, it looks like Tobey Maguire has officially signed on for Spider-Man 3. And it looks like an official announcement may be coming sometime soon. Now, a big trade company may announce this soon, like Deadline or Variety, and this was hinted at by Brandon Davis at comicbook.com. He said this in a tweet and then he deleted it, which leads us to believe that perhaps a big trade is going to announce it relatively soon. Another possibility for an official announcement is that it might actually come from Sony and Marvel themselves in the form of a teaser. Again, a Sony executive told us that we'd get a teaser by the end of 2020, and we didn't. And if it was in fact due to Tobey Maguire not being officially on board, well, it looks like that problem is solved. He's on board now, which means they could give us a teaser. Now, we're actually not sure as to when exactly he signed. All that's happened is the information that he has signed has been let out. So he could have actually signed weeks ago, which would actually line up with an Instagram post that Tom Holland posted. He posted about 2 weeks ago a picture of him and his brother on top of his shoulder saying, "Today was easily one of the highlights of my career. For those of you that were there, you know what I'm talking about, and for those of you that weren't, you better buckle up." Now, at this point, we widely believe that he was referring to filming with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And since we now have word that Tobey has indeed signed, this is more likely the case. This is what he is most likely referring to. And if it is true, that means that the 3 Spider-Men have been filming together for for a couple of weeks now. And that's a decent amount of time and probably a decent amount of footage to give us some sort of a teaser. And I'm not talking about a full-on teaser trailer, something that's like a minute long, 2 minutes long. I don't think that we're going to get that. But at this point in time, when we were with Spider-Man Far From Home, they had already revealed the title. Sony and Marvel hasn't revealed anything about Spider-Man Homecoming 3 yet. And that could be due to the fact that the title might actually give away the Spider-Verse. So there should be some type of teaser coming soon, whether that's just revealing the title or revealing a quick little snippet of 3 Spider-Man, or maybe even just a photo of the 3 Spider-Man together. Whatever it may be, we are definitely overdue for that teaser that was promised to us, and now it seems like Sony and Marvel have everything in place that they need to actually give us that teaser. And based off of all of these tweets from these insiders, it looks like an official announcement could be coming very soon. Now, for all the Black Widow fans out there, it does look like we have a bit of new information. Black Widow has been delayed multiple times. Black Widow was supposed to be the first movie coming out in Marvel's Phase 4, followed by The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, The Eternals, and Shang-Chi. Then after that, WandaVision, but of course they all got pushed back and Black Widow was the first Marvel Phase 4 project to release. And now Black Widow isn't coming until May this year. But that may not actually be the case anymore. There have been a lot of rumors going around about Black Widow possibly going straight to Disney+. Disney did this with Mulan and they did it with Soul as well. And it was relatively successful for both movies. Now, it wasn't the same as having a huge box office opening, but we're in a pandemic right now and people aren't really going to the theaters. So there was a lot of talk that Disney was going to do this for Black Widow as well. And then Wonder Woman 1984 was released in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously. And this got people wondering if they were going to do this for Black Widow as well, do a theatrical release but also release it at the same time on Disney+. Well, we now have some official news about this as Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, has spoken up about how he feels about a theatrical release and a Disney+ release at the same time. And Kevin Feige is not for it. He is still pushing for a theatrical release. He is not fond of doing both the theatrical release and a Disney Plus release at the same time. So it's not very likely to happen. It also means that getting Black Widow on Disney Plus first is probably not going to happen as well. If he doesn't want them to release in theaters and Disney Plus at the same time because he's pushing for a theatrical release, that means he's not probably open to a Disney Plus only release. Which unfortunately, according to a report from Variety, means that Black Widow might get delayed again. We've already had a couple of delays and Marvel's Phase 4 schedule has already shifted a ton. But fortunately, I don't think that what happens in Black Widow will have that big of an effect or connection to what happens in all of the other movies. After all, it does take place before Avengers Endgame, and I'm sure it sets up some things that are going to happen in the future, but if Black Widow is out of order with Marvel's Phase 4, I don't really think it's going to affect the continuity, which means that Marvel could delay it until it is ready for a theatrical release. And that seems to be what Kevin Feige would like to do. So don't expect a Disney Plus release or a theatrical and Disney Plus release, but expect a theatrical release for Black Widow, which I think a lot of people would say she deserves. But be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all of the latest news concerning Black Widow, Spider-Man 3, WandaVision, and everything relating to the MCU. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on everything in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.